This video might ruffle some feathers, but after replaying the classics, giving the shoddy ones another shot, and realising a few were way more overhyped than I remembered, I've come up with my personal list of the top 5 Assassin's Creed games you need to play. Some picks you'll agree with, and some might make you throw a right hand. But you might be surprised, so stick with me and let's get into this. Kicking off the list at number 5 is one of the most underrated entries in the series, Assassin's Creed Syndicate. Now I know this one doesn't really get as much love as the others, but hear me out. After playing this recently, this game really surprised me in ways I wasn't really expecting. Set in Victorian London during the Industrial Revolution, this game gave us one of the coolest and most stylish time periods in the entire franchise. And then we have the two main characters, Jacob and Evie. The dual protagonist setup was a fresh air of breath. Jacob's the brash, typical English bloke in the pub, whilst Evie's all about stealth, strategy, and raw dogging. The ability to switch between them was unique for its time, and it added a fresh feel to the Assassin's Creed franchise. Gameplay-wise, Syndicate was slick. The combat system felt fast and punchy. You weren't just swiping a sword around, and you were brawling in the streets, pulling off brutal finishes, and chaining combos that made you feel like this black-eyed knobhead, and I really enjoyed it. And the grappling hook was a game changer. Climbing buildings was fast, zipping across rooftops was satisfying, and it made navigating London fun instead of tedious. And it also gave parkour a fresh new feel, as by this game, it's easy for the formula of AC to get stale. Although the grappling hook did return in Shadows, I'm kinda surprised other AC games didn't introduce it sooner. You also had your own gang that you could upgrade and use to take control of different boroughs of the city, taking over London district by district. So why did it go so under the radar? Well, Syndicate came out after Unity, and by then, a lot of fans were burned out and it felt like a bit of a downgrade at the time visually. It also didn't help that Ubisoft didn't market this one nearly as hard, which kinda made this game feel like a hidden gem and slip under the radar. Syndicate doesn't get the same spotlight as the classics or the newer RPG style games, but it absolutely earns a spot in my top 5 and you should definitely check it out. Taking the number 4 spot is the game that started it all. The game that laid the foundation for one of the most iconic franchises in gaming history, Assassin's Creed 1. This might surprise a lot of people, but this was the first AC I ever played back in the day, and I still remember the first time I loaded it up, not knowing what the hell to expect. I was a huge fan of free roam open world games back then, and this game just knocked me for 9 due to how good it was. Back in 2007, it changed the game with its massive cities, fluid parkour, and cinematic stealth, all before it got milked to shit 14 games later. Altair was the original master assassin in his iconic seaman-coloured robes, and I just used to love his cold, calculated demeanour, and I remember just free roaming and killing innocent bastards for the fun of it, over and over, watching the Templars' reaction to countless corpses around the streets of Jerusalem. The map just felt so big for its time, with large explorable areas that were broken up into small sections. This game introduced us to the signature parkour and assassination gameplay that would define the franchise, blending into crowds, climbing buildings, and murking a hidden blade into some poor gobshite. Now I will be honest, looking back at it now, the mission design is a bit repetitive, but here's the thing, despite this, it's still addictive, mainly because it was the first game in the franchise and hadn't been milked pissless yet, and it had a charm to it I can't really put into words. I feel like a lot of people don't talk about this game, perhaps they've never played it, or feel like it's not worth talking about, but in my opinion, this is the game that started it all, and playing it again is quite a unique experience, seeing how far the franchise has come, and witnessing the origin of AC is a must, and that's why it deserves to be on the list. And if you want to replay these legendary games for yourself, or maybe try the ones you missed, do not pay stupid prices like a knobhead. I use instant gaming to grab my game keys, and it's way cheaper than Steam and the PlayStation and Xbox store. You literally get your games instantly, no messing about, and it works straight away. I've been using them for years, and it's fast, easy, and it saves you getting royally done over. Whether you're grabbing using Shadow, Syndicate or any other AC, just click the link down below in the description and you will save some cash, and it also helps out the channel too. At number 3, we have the game that revolutionized the franchise. It took everything the first game tried to do and turned it into something truly special, and that's Assassin's Creed 2. Ezio is arguably the most iconic assassin in the entire series. His story of revenge, growth and brotherhood made AC2 unforgettable, and I love watching him grow into a master assassin. Compared to Assassin's Creed 1, this game improved so damn much. Parkour felt way smoother, you weren't just climbing towers for viewpoints anymore. You were weaving through rooftops, darting through alleyways and diving into canals. Combat had more variety with new weapons, smoke bombs, and most importantly, hidden blades you could finally dual wield, giving birth to the iconic dual twat assassination we've loved ever since. Looking back at the various cities you could explore in this game, it's massively nostalgic but also packed with incredible detail and personality. Am I the only one who feels like recent games kinda struggle with this? The missions had more variety compared to the first game, and yes, you still had to assassinate key targets, but it wasn't just climb here, kill him and leave. There were heists, investigations, rooftop chases and much more, making it feel timeless to play now despite its age. Yes, nostalgia does play a role to some degree, but for me, AC2 was absolute perfection and the best example of a classic AC that did everything right. I can't put it higher in the list as I do think there are 2 other games which take things to a whole new level, but AC2 is 100% worth revisiting again. Coming in at number 2 is a game that, despite a rocky launch, has earned its place as one of my favourite Assassin's Creed experiences to date. And not everyone will agree. With its timeless graphics and some of the best parkour and combat in the series, we have Assassin's Creed Unity. So let's start with Arnu. Unlike other protagonists, Arnu's journey is deeply personal, losing his adoptive father, fighting against corruption and struggling with love and loyalty. He often goes under the radar with how likeable he is. But what truly sets Unity apart is its gameplay. Movement in this game is a whole new animal that even recent games haven't been able to compete with. Traversing across Paris feels amazing and looks insane, with animations that still look incredible to this day. It actually really annoys me that no other AC game has been able to top the parkour since. I also feel like combat in Unity is seriously underrated. Swordplay is refined and challenging, rewarding precision over button mashing, and what sets it apart is the insane level of detail in the animations. It's some of the most realistic and brutal combat in any AC game. I still get regular rod-ons over these assassination animations. And then there's Paris itself. Ubisoft created a living, breathing world with some of the most dense crowds I've ever seen in a video game. Was this made by time travelers, for Christ's sake? You don't even see this amount of NPCs in today's games. This is easily the most immersive setting in the franchise. Yes, Unity had its flaws at launch, but after endless updates and revisiting it on a regular basis, I've absolutely loved it, and it's become one of the best Assassin's Creed experiences ever. So don't listen to the hate, you've got to revisit this game. Alright, so we've explored some of the most iconic entries in the Assassin's Creed series, but my top pick stands in a league of its own. Although not everyone will agree with my number 1 pick, but for me there is one game that stands above the rest and is easily the best installment of the series. And that is Assassin's Creed 4 Black Flag. Assassin's Creed Black Flag isn't just the best AC game, but it's up there with one of my favourite open world games of all time. And here is why. So first we have to talk about old Eddie. Unlike previous protagonists who are deeply tied to the Assassin Brotherhood from the start, Edward is completely different. He begins as a peasant pirate chasing fortune rather than fighting for a cause. But his journey from a broke-ass pirate to a legendary assassin makes for one of the most compelling arcs in the series. He's charismatic, flawed, and very likeable. Then there's the naval combat, which is easily the greatest innovation in the series. It's not just a gimmick, it's a whole other layer to the gameplay, and it's addictive as hell. Sailing the open seas, battling enemy ships, and boarding them in real time, unlike this pile of absolute cack. And to this day, I will load up the game every now and then and board some gobshite ship and utterly batter them. It combines the classic Assassin's Creed gameplay elements we loved back in the day, but with a fresh new pirate take which works so damn well. Yes, the parkour and combat isn't as good as later games like Unity, but when combined with the naval gameplay, it worked so well and became so addictive. I mean, just take a minute to imagine how good Black Flag would be with Unity's combat and parkour animations. I mean, bloody hell Christ, I already don't leave the house as it is. Being able to customize and upgrade your ship is another reason to explore the huge open world set in the Caribbean, which is vibrant, diverse, and full of life with amazing attention to detail. The sheer scale and freedom of exploration was groundbreaking for the time, and even today, it still very much holds up with visuals that really don't look that bad. Black Flag isn't just a great AC game, it's an open world classic that demands a revisit. It revolutionized naval combat and blended it perfectly with classic AC parkour and combat, whilst introducing the most badass and likeable protagonist in the entire series. And Ubisoft, please do not balls up the Black Flag remake that is still rumoured to be coming out at some point, for Christ's sake. And if you do want to try out any of these games for yourself, I've dropped a link down below where you can get them super cheap. And I would love to know your thoughts. Do you agree with the list? Make sure to let me know your favourite Assassin's Creed game in the comment section down below. And to see my unpopular opinion on Assassin's Creed Shadows, which might actually surprise you, just click the card on screen to watch that video. Thank you guys for watching, and I'll see you next time.